Hey, what's up guys? My name is Sonny and welcome to yet another episode of Production Inside. Today I'm here with my good friend Jordi Rivera. Woo! And today we're gonna look into our project Bubblegum, which was our first release on Spinning Records, and it did really well. It was a really cool track. It was really fun to produce as well. And yeah, today we're gonna go over and show you a little bit of how it's done. So this is the project. We're gonna just show you a little bit of how it's built up, and I'll show you all the different layers of the drop mainly. Some samples could be missing because it was made on a different MacBook, because Jordi has a new one in the meantime. So this is what the track sounds like. Alright.
That was it, but most of you guys already know the track, I think. And yeah, so we're missing a few sounds, but most of the project is there, so we can explain about it.
So yeah, we're gonna start from the top and just explain step by step how this track's built up. Our first channel is actually a Sidechain channel, a ghost channel. And Jordi's gonna explain to you how he does that.
Yeah, it's actually a little top kick of an old project of mine, and I always use this one. It's really small, as you can see, so I can put a compressor on where I want the sidechain, and I can like adjust the release. So if it's like a really tiny click, then I can make the sidechain really short, or I can make it really wide, big. So yeah.
So moving on to our kick drum.
It's just a kick drum.
It's just a kick drum from Vengeance Deep House, I think.
Yeah.
And there's not much going on. There's some reverb automation in the beginning, also to smoothen the transition to the break. And besides that, just a low cut also in the intro at some points. So yeah, pretty basic stuff. Moving on to our clap.
Yes, those are two claps together. I think we used a really small one and one with more open. Yeah, and just put them together and EQ them. Nothing much going on actually.
Also a little what's this called again? Saturator.
It's the same thing as a sausage fattener. So
yeah, exactly. And then afterwards also put on some low cut. So moving on to our chords. The first group is consists of 4 plugins. The first one actually doesn't work because it was a contact from a different file, but this was a piano. Yeah. The second one is a silent plug with a little bit of reverb, sidechain, and some fab filter to take out some of the low end. The third one is also a contact, Jordi's signature marimba sound, or xylophone sound. Also with some sidechain, a little bit of reverb, and a low cut. And the last one
is a white noise. So the trick of those chords is actually just combining real instruments with like a silent with synths, and it sounds really cool.
And the funny thing here with the chords is Jordi actually made a different group, which he made totally mono, and layered it with the other group, which he made a little bit more stereo. So together you will get a really full and wide sound.
Yeah, because the chords were like really stereo, detuned synths, and also the xylophone was really stereo. So I had to make another. I had to duplicate them and made one mono. So yeah.
Moving on to our lead sounds, and this is like the really cool thing, which really makes the track. This is actually made from a Kashmir ethnic vocal shot, which we like chopped a little bit, and we added the sustain mode, so it goes back and forth, so it just keeps playing as you play it on piano. Also, we edited the glide modes to glide, so the notes will glide on.
So the notes will just glide like
like that, like woo.
so we can make this effect. Because without the glide it would sound like this.
Exactly. So the attack of the sample the transition will be really great. And we layered that with a little flute from Contact.
But it's gone. I couldn't find it back.
Yeah, this is a different flute, but just to give you an idea of what it would sound like.
Yeah.
And afterwards, Jordi used his little trick with the reverb. He put on an automation on the reverb on the parts where the sound is not playing.
So it will suck you back.
So it gives a really full effect, and it sucks you back into the melody. Last, we put this little massive synth on top of it, just to give it a little bit more sparkle with the white noise edge on top.
Yeah.
And all together it sounds like this.
Yeah, the thing about layering is just adding what it doesn't have yet. So just like the chords, you're just adding frequencies and sounds and things.
Just to make it bigger and
Yeah.
make it fuller. So yeah, that's it for our lead sounds. Moving on, I think we have our bass channel over here. Yes, that's our bass channel. And this is pretty straightforward. This is actually made out of a silent, really future bounce, also Jordi's signature future bounce bass plug.
Yeah, actually this bass, I made it just by tweaking a stock sound in silent and just selecting the pulse, actually 2 pulses together, I think. Yeah, just work with the cutoff and the attack and stuff till it sounds cool. And then you save it and you use it in more projects and tweak it, and that's how you get your bass sound.
Yeah, that's how you get your own signature sounds. So well done, Jordi, of course. Alright, and this bass sound is actually layered with a bass cut from the Vengeance Deep House, with a little bit of low cut and some sidechain, and also a little bit of high ends EQ'd on top of it.
Yeah.
And together it sounds like this.
It sounds really simple when you solo it, but in the mix it's like
everything works together in this track. It gives it really cool broad mix as well. So moving on, I think over here we have some cool effects. This is just white noise.
little claps on the background.
Little claps, you don't even hear it in the full mix, but it's there, you know. Little reverse. Different reverse. This is actually the reverse of this sound.
And most of the times when we have the idea ready, then we just look for little cuts and effects and stuff. Yeah, so we have a lot of little fills playing.
Hi-hats, right, this right also has a volume shaper on top of it, just to take out some of the attack.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool. Different right.
A lot of rides and hi-hats.
This clap is also pretty cool. A really big reverb clap. And then yeah, it's mainly just little edits and stuff.
And most of the effects and stuff, they come from sample packs like Splice or something. I get a lot of fun from Splice. So where do you get your most effects from?
I go through my sample bank of like 100 gigs and I find something, you know. So moving on to the master bus.
Yes.
This is actually a process that my friend Jordi did. So we're just gonna go over here and I think I can show you some of it and the rest is up to Jordi to explain.
Yeah. So not every single plugin is working, as you see right here and right here. What I did with the first EQ is I've EQ'd the stereo image, so not only.
So you took out the low end of the side frequencies, right?
Yeah.
So the mid frequencies are still there on the low end, but the side frequencies you can take out.
Because you want your bass and your kick to be mono.
To be in the center, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so the second fab filter is just to put on some high frequencies, right?
Yeah, a little bit high.
A little bit high. And the third one is the isotope ozone stereo imaging, just on top of the 2K to 10K.
Yeah.
Added some extra stereo width.
I think this one was also on earlier, but yeah, just
and you took down some of the low frequencies on the bass end, right?
Yeah.
Just, you can actually pull this up to about 180. Just where the punch of your kick is, till up to there you can take it. Moving on, and here's a cool little tool I haven't seen before. I know you use this actually quite frequent. So can you explain a little bit about this?
Yeah, this is like an analyzer, and you can watch your whole waveform go. And I have it on every single project to just see how the waveform is. You can see where your kick is and where your bass is. Right now you can just see that the kick is like the loudest part of the whole track, and that's always good. You see it and also in master tracks that the kick is like the loudest instrument in the
Because you really
mix.
want your kick to pop out of the mix, and with
Yeah.
this you can actually see it happen, right?
Yeah.
And the trick with this multi-band compressor?
I always select only the low frequencies of the whole track. And when I put on the analyzer, I can see how the kick and the bass are working. So you're not just listening to the bass and the kick, but you can see them if they disturb each other. Like right now, you can
actually see there are separate waveforms, right?
Yeah, you can see that the bass starts when the kick ends.
Yeah.
That's
cool. That's
you,
cool.
You don't always hear it when you listen to your mix, so that's a good way to check
Definitely.
it.
That's a cool little tool.
So I think that's pretty much it for the mastering. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you Jordi Rivera for being here. Drop a like if you like it. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments and make sure to watch next time for another episode of Production Insight. Peace out.